Good evening and welcome. You're listening to the Modern Mystic Radio Show. My name is Sarah. I'm your host. You're also listening to A1R Psychic Radio, the world's #1 psychic radio network, and also on Moonstruck TV. So I trust that you have had a very interesting and fulfilling week so far. But the week has only just begun, and we've got some fabulous shows coming up for you. As well as mine after this and over the next few days. So stay tuned right throughout. So my topic for today is I want to talk a little bit more about the law of attraction. And maybe you've tried your vision boards, maybe you've tried your affirmations and your positive thinking, and you found that they haven't actually worked for you. So what I'm going to talk about today are some key elements here to the law of attraction, and how to boost it, how to boost the effectiveness of what you're sending out. So let me just go into, these are my top tips, and these are things that I try and incorporate and work upon, and I have been for the past few years, and it does take time to really change your vibration and change your dominant thoughts and feelings, because fundamentally this is what we are sending out into the universe. So you need to think about what is that dominant thought and feeling that you are sending out on a daily basis. Okay, so let's go into some of my top tips. The first one here is really encompassing and harnessing the immense power of gratitude. Okay, so bringing that into your daily life. So how do we do that? It's not just a case of, right, okay, I'm going to write a list and I'm grateful for this, this and this. It's about really immersing yourself within that experience of gratitude and trying to bring it in on a daily basis. So something like you wake up in the morning, you're grateful for that next day, you're grateful for the shower, you're grateful for the car that you get in, you're grateful for each mouth of food that you take into your body as well. So it's really bringing in and savouring those moments right throughout your day from start to finish. That is incredibly powerful, and it does boost your ability to manifest. There is no more powerful emotion apart from love, obviously, that really works with the law of attraction. Okay, the second top tip that I have for you, which again is incredibly powerful, and this is being in the now, being in the present moment. This is your seat of power. There is no better place to actually put your intentions out when you're fully present in the moment. So this is a little bit more than mindfulness. It is about truly embracing that moment and trying to bring yourself constantly back to the present, because quite often what we are doing is we're either living in the past and thinking about the past and thinking about past situations, or we're perhaps worrying about the future. Okay, so we don't tend to spend, either in the past or in the future, we don't spend enough time in the present and enjoying that present moment. And it does have a great ability to kind of relieve any stress that you might be feeling as well, because within that moment there is no stress. There is nothing happening that you need to be directly involved with. So bringing yourself into that moment on a daily basis. We've got gratitude, number one, being in the present moment, number two. Okay, so my top tip for number three is connecting to the elements that are around us. We don't do enough of that, and we are surrounded, when we look at nature, surrounded by all of this energy, and we just bypass it. We miss it completely. We don't take time to feel the air that's around us, the breeze. We don't take time to connect to the earth. We don't take time to connect to the trees. We don't take time to connect to the sun and the elements and the moon and the stars, and all these have and hold an enormous amount of energy, and it's there to support us, but quite often we just bypass it. Okay, so top tip number 4 is trying to take a day. If you can do this every day, great. If you can't, then try and do it maybe just once a week. But making that day consciously the best day of your life, okay, from start to finish. Now, this sounds easier than it actually is to put into practice. So a lot of these things that I've mentioned here are ongoing elements or exercises to kind of bring you into a more powerful place in order for you to start manifesting and being in tune with the universe. Because when you are in tune with the universe, this is where miracles happen. This is where you can achieve the life of your dreams. This is where opportunities will come in out of the blue and land on your lap. Okay, so making each day the best day of your life from start to finish, taking that time, if this was your last day, what would it be like? And embracing that and really putting all of your energy into that day. Okay, and also thinking about, and this is my top tip, let's have 5, I think it is, number 5, you are what you give. So are you giving, this is a bit of a question you've got to ask yourself, are you giving 100% into your life? Because if you're not, why would you be getting 100% back? Okay, so maybe you're in a situation where you've got a 9-to-5 job, it's there, it pays the bills, you're quite grateful for it, but you also want to start your spiritual business, so you could try and do that on the side, and so fundamentally you're only really using maybe 20 or 30% of your energy, on that spiritual side, but that's where your passion is, that's where your joy is, that's what you really want to be doing. So why would you be getting 100% back for something you're only putting 30% in, 20 or 30%? It's something to think about, and it's also something that you can change, because always remember that fundamentally you are in control of your life. You are in control of how you feel. You are in control of what you think. Okay, no one else can take that away from you, and that is your power, and that is your human right as well. Okay, also my final tip is a mindset switch that I tend to teach and I tend to use myself, and this is great for how can I put it, kickstarting your manifestations. So you're manifesting your reality. So it's a way of kickstarting it in a very real and daily basis. So, and it's very, very simple. So what you do is you start each day with the intention of manifesting just one piece of good news. Okay, and this is kind of what I tend to use to if I feel like I've perhaps gone out of alignment, because we do. Sometimes we get bogged down with certain things with life, and we need, that whole element of manifesting sort of kick-started. So we start the day with the intention of manifesting one piece of good news, and at the end of each day, we reflect and see what that good news has come in as. So it may very well be a client booking. It may very well be that somebody offered you a cup of coffee. It may very well be that you had this pop into your life. So it's about consciously intending it from the day from the moment you start your day, and then as you go through your day, and this is where the mindset switch comes in, as you go through your day, you start looking for, I wonder what that positive element is going to be today, and it's something you do quite naturally. And this is a great way of shifting and changing the way your mind works. So rather than focusing on the negative, what you are doing is actually starting to shift and look for what is positive. So you think, I need to make a mental note of that so I can reflect upon that at the end of the day. And before you know it, you're manifesting not one piece of good news or one good thing. You're manifesting several, and it's almost like it creates an effect here that just builds, over a period of time. So it's very, very quick, very, very easy to do, and it does shift and change the way in which your mind works and thinks very, very quickly. So those are my top tips for manifesting and boosting your manifesting. And like I said, none of these things are overnight tricks, if you like, or overnight hacks. These are things that you need to kind of work with and incorporate. And bear in mind that when we're trying to manifest, we're all individuals, and we've all got our own set of blocks. We've all got our own sets of, the way in which we think and what we're putting out to the universe is all different. We're all individuals. So some things will work for you better than other things. But hopefully with these top tips, you'll find something that does work for you. So I'm going to be taking 2 callers today, and I have my first caller. This is Karen from Greensburg, Pennsylvania. Hi, Karen. Are you there?
I'm here.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Lovely to have you on the show. Do you have a question for me that you would like me to look at for you?
Oh, if I'm going to find employment soon.
Okay. Right, let's have a look and see what we've got here for you. Right, let's have a look and see what I get here. Right, I'm going to shuffle the cards. I'm just going to deal out a few cards. The first one that I've got is brilliant. And it's all about new beginnings here. And I feel, and with work, my goodness, this is looking good. Okay, so I love the energy of this. You've got very, very positive cards around the work front. What I do feel is that this is something that you've been trying to do for some time. You've been trying to get your foot, up the ladder. Does that make sense with work? And it feels as though sometimes you're so close, and then it kind of falls apart and falls away. Now, in terms of the work area and something new coming in, I want to say definitely we've got something new coming in for you. The time period for this is wonderful. It's coming in as, I want to say, imminently. I feel, within... When I look at the cards, the time period I'm given is within the next 4 weeks. This could be as early as tomorrow, or it could be in a couple of weeks' time, but I feel like it's imminent. I feel like you're on top of it. And again, it's being reflected here by the sun, which to me, talks about the summer months here, which we're already in. And I feel that what I've got for you in terms of your work side, I feel like I need to look at potentially what it is that might be blocking your previous attempts, if that makes sense. So yes. I feel that fundamentally you are looking for something where you can get not just that your foot in, up the rung of the ladder, but also you can get the growth here. I feel like you want to, you want to stay put and you want to grow within that role. And I feel like I've got that coming in for you, and the next role that you do secure. And I feel like what I'm being shown here is that the universe is going to be really clear for you. And so you won't have a choice of 5 different roles, and you've got to think, well, which is the right one for me? I feel like you're just going to be placed automatically within that right role. I want to say, because of the sense of the fact that it's very impending here, it's coming in very soon. This may very well be something that you've already applied for, that you're waiting to hear back on. I get such a sense of, I feel like it's local to you. There is not a distance to travel with this. I also feel here, it's almost like, I feel like I've got either two bosses here. I feel like I've got two bosses, two managers. Okay, one male, one female, and it feels quite equally balanced, and it feels like it works really, really well. But I feel with work, it's coming in, okay? I feel like you're at the tail end of this waiting period, and I feel like you've been feeling really despondent about the whole work situation. I don't feel like you're going to have to wait much longer at all. I feel by the end of this month, I've got you in a new job, or is the offer is on the table. Does that make sense to you?
Okay.
Yeah. Is there anything else you would like to ask?
Well, I was discharged from my job, and I was just wondering the lies will eventually be found out for their lies.
Okay, you might have to repeat. Your line broke up just slightly there, so you may have to just repeat that very, very quickly.
Okay, there was a lie told, and that's the reason why I was fired from my job. And I want to know if the ones who lied will be found out.
Right, let's have a look at that. I'm just going to see what we've got here for you. Okay, right, so what I do get here with this is that you will hear positive news on this, okay?
Okay.
So I do feel that you need to wait for this, but you will get to hear, there will be a sense of this person or these people are going to, how can I put it, there's the element here of karma, things coming around here that may very well slap them, back in the face, if that makes sense. So I do feel that there's an element of justice, and that's a word, justice, coming in here. But I feel, looking at the cards, and when you asked the question, my first thought here was that it's time now for you to look forwards, okay? That's where your energy now needs to go. But you will, there will be a sense of justice around that situation, because it was very unfair what they did. Does that make sense to you?
Okay, yes.
Okay, right, so thank you very much for coming through. I now need to go on to my next caller, so love and light to you. Okay, so we have Delta in Dallas, Texas.
Hi.
Hello, hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. Hi.
Hiya. Okay, do you have a question for me? Thank you for coming on to the show.
Thank you, ma'am. I was going to ask a question about finances, and I'm trying for a new job. I don't know if I'll get a better job here.
Okay, let's have a look and see what I get for you. Right, I'm just going to give the cards a bit of a shuffle, and let's see what we have coming in. Okay, so let's see what we have got for you. Again, I feel that I feel like you are going to get another job. It is going to be a better job, but it feels very different to what you're doing at the moment. Okay, so what I feel like I'm looking at is maybe a completely different role, or changing of an industry or something like that, because I feel like it's very different. I feel like at the moment you're very restless, and you're ready for the next challenge. Where you are at the moment is not offering you a challenge, okay? And I feel like you, how can I put it? I'm seeing success around this. I feel like your next position is going to turn out better than you expect. So, and also what I feel with this is, what I've got is a role that when you first see it, it's not going to be very clear as to how good the role is. So I feel like there's very little information to go on, but I see you applying for it anyway. And then when you find out a little bit more about the role, you think, oh my goodness, this is a lot better than what I originally thought. Okay. And I feel like it's going to be that role that I've got you securing. So there's the element of, it's almost like I've got a role that is advertised as such that it doesn't highlight all the benefits and everything else that kind of go with it. It's almost like underselling the role to a certain degree. But I feel like I have got that there for you. I've got you changing pathway as well coming in. So at the moment it feels as though you are at a bit of a crossroads. You have had to wait considerably as well, get the element of waiting in terms of being able to shift and change jobs. So what you're going into next time, or, you know, the next role that you've got, I feel is, I'm seeing also, I'm turning over a new chapter here in your life. And I feel like this is going to offer you a lot more promise, a lot more progress, and a lot more potential here. So I feel it's coming in very, very quickly. You know, again, I feel like I've got it coming in and falling in within the summer months. There seems to be something. Are you working at the moment? Because there seems to be something around your present work that I feel like you need to walk away from. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am, I do. I am working. I'm just homeless at the moment, so I'm really hoping to get another job.
Okay. So I'm seeing. I feel like. Let's have a look. Also getting the number 10 around this job as well. So look out for that. Maybe the building number or something like that. But I feel like number 10, maybe on the 10th of the month or something. But I feel that the number 10 is very, very strong here with your work. What I do get are new beginnings, and I also feel like a lot of the stress and a lot of the strain that you've been under is being lifted here for you. So I want to say maybe even over the first week of August, I've got it coming in. First week of August, I feel like is going to be very strong for you. So keep your eyes and ears open for almost any role, okay? And it's almost, like I said, I get you applying for it and it doesn't feel like, you don't even know what it is really when you apply for it. But when you find out a little bit more, I feel like it is matching exactly what you want. Okay, in terms of, you know, your work future. So it's got a lot of potential within it. Okay, something to do with quite a male-dominated industry, I feel, or male-dominated type of work. Okay, something that's associated with the male energy. That's what I get for you. Is there anything else that you would like to ask?
Thank you so much on that question, ma'am. Just anything, how's my spiritual life going to continue to grow? If there's anything, any messages from the spirit guides?
Okay, so how is your spiritual life doing? Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so your spiritual development. Okay, let's have a look and see what I get around this. See, what I'm being shown here is that, believe it or not, you do have it's almost like I get you like 2 steps away from being fully connected. Okay, fully connected with your spirituality, and also the energy, if you like, of the universe. So I feel like you are I want to say it's going very, very well. I feel like you're a couple of steps away from getting to where you want to be within your spiritual life. However, I feel it's been very difficult for you. This whole journey, your life journey, has been very challenging for you. it's been a very much an uphill struggle. So there've been lots of lessons really that you've had to face that have been quite difficult and quite hard. But I feel like your spirituality is going to come on in leaps and bounds, particularly when you enter what feels like an easier time of it. I feel like your ability to connect with spirit, with the energy of the universe is very strong, is incredibly strong. And I also feel here that once you get settled in what I feel is that next chapter, I feel the opportunities for you to either work spiritually or enhance your spiritual abilities starts to really kick in. And I feel like I've got the month of September around that. So I want to say keep doing what you're doing, but in fact I feel like you're almost where you need to be. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, ma'am. That feels really good. Appreciate that.
Okay, so thank you very much for coming through to the show. I'm going to wish you a wonderful evening and a wonderful week ahead. So thank you so much, Delta.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay, right, so unbelievably, that is nearly the end of my show. So if you want to get hold of me, you can via my website, www.modern-mystic.co.uk, or on my Facebook page, Modern Mystic, and also I'm under Mystic Sarah. So I'm going to wish you an absolutely wonderful evening ahead, wonderful week ahead. Stay tuned. We've got some fantastic shows coming up as well. And I'm glad that we've had some wonderful callers come through. And I shall see you the same time next week. Goodbye for now.